Safwan, congratulations on getting the F30 NSRA National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute Award. Very well done.
Thank you.
So before I get more into that, of course, I want to learn more about, what motivated you for that. Could you just tell me a bit about what program you're in and, how you feel the program you're in right now is preparing you for your future career goals?
Yeah, so I'm in the MDPhD program overall, but my PhD is in the Integrative Physiology and Molecular Medicine program, which I really chose because I was very interested in physiology. I think in terms of being a physician scientist, physiology was appealing because obviously there's plenty of research to be done within physiology, but then in terms of in medicine, I think of medicine as just being sort of an applied physiology or pathophysiology. So I thought it was a good fit and it's been great so far.
So what is your research about?
So my research is mostly focused about how psychological stress or trauma can alter the immune system and how that can predispose people to cardiovascular diseases, autoimmune diseases. So really sort of very much integrative physiology, combining a few different systems to think about how really stress and trauma can affect how our body functions.
Wow, there's a lot of information now, as you know, clinical about how childhood traumas can impact your life. And, we call them adverse childhood experiences. And
Yeah.
we know now that, depending on how many of those traumas you get, you could actually be at as great risk of getting things like cancer and all kinds of diseases later on if you have.
Yeah, and that's I think that's something that makes it very interesting sort of across the lifespan and then across the disease state, like you mentioned, whether it's cancer, cardiovascular disease, autoimmune diseases. And so we sort of go from where we think it starts, which is how it's affecting the immune system.
Mm-hmm. Why did you decide to do MD PhD?
So I really wanted to combine, I think, both of them. I think I sort of spent time initially just doing lab research as an undergraduate, and I really loved it. And then I sort of did a further experience where I was just a research intern, and I didn't really have any shadowing experiences, and it wasn't very clinical. It was very much with the Department of Energy. I found I wasn't really completely happy with that. So I sort of knew that I wouldn't be happy with one or the other, and I needed something that would let me do both. And so that's sort of the goal and why I chose, I think, the combined program.
And what do you see your career being after you finish your training?
Yeah, so ideally I would like to sort of I always say I would like to sit atop the sort of an unbalanced three-legged stool as a clinician, an educator, and a researcher. And so, I mean, sort of obviously finishing my PhD, finishing med school, and then finding a residency where I have a chance to both become a good clinician, do research, as well as a chance to teach, because that's something I enjoy doing too.
I understand how you feel. That's been
yeah, I know you do. Yeah.
I really encourage you. We need more people like you, for sure. So tell me more about why did you apply for the F30 Award? What was your inspiration, and and how has that changed what you're doing now, having this award?
Yeah. So I think my inspiration sort of started very early from meeting older MD PhD and just traditional PhD students who had applied for the awards and been successful, like who are now residents and have left UNMC, like Beth Nielsen and Lee Slateholm. And they really told me that it was great, you should think about it, and really not only obviously is helpful to do something that is similar to what you'll be doing for the rest of your career if you want to go into academia, it is a great experience to write a grant. But I think also it was just something where you could prepare yourself and really build a plan for what your PhD will look like, whether the grant goes funded or unfunded. Obviously, there's a fair bit of luck involved in that, but just being able to put down your ideas on paper and really plan what you're going to do for the next 3-4+ years. And initially, I applied for the American Heart Association grant, since we do cardiovascular research and being in the physiology department. And I was awarded that. And then soon after got the F grant. So obviously that's more of long-term grant since it follows me through med school. So that became the primary one.
That's fantastic. Well, we're very proud of you. That's such great work.
Thank you.
Now, let's switch tack a bit and talk about some more light things. Can you tell me about who or what has been the greatest inspiration of your life so far?
Yeah, that's a that's a good question. That's a hard question. I think there are people who I run into sort of daily, I think, that I try to emulate and I think of as inspirations. Obviously, a big example would be my PI, Adam Case, is someone who is sort of maybe like 10 years I see in his career ahead of where I am. And so there are really things he does and the way he treats people in such a positive and sort of like really genuine way that inspires me. And then also from the clinical sense, there are people like Dr. Will Hay, who is the medical director of the free clinics at UNMC, who I've worked with a lot. And he's someone who, it's not about the glamour of big awards or anything like that. It's about day-to-day doing the right thing and helping people. And he's someone who, it's through actions that he shows that he really does care about the community by always being there at the free clinic. So those are definitely two people who inspire me through sort of different ways. That is just through sort of the daily being present. That's inspiring, I think.
Those are two really wonderful people. I know both of them. They're really outstanding.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yes. Well, let me ask you one final question. What has been your most memorable experience or moment so far at UNMC?
That's a good question. I would say, well, I guess one of the most memorable was, I guess, probably one of my first memories at UNMC, which is sort of like the matriculation white coat ceremony. That I think was really exciting to sort of see the work of undergrad come to fruition and have the chance to sort of celebrate starting something, since I guess I haven't finished anything yet, with my parents, and really they've obviously been super supportive and sort of exciting for them to sort of see me do something that they helped so much with. So that was obviously a great memory. And then in terms of my graduate school experience, it wasn't at UNMC, but through UNMC, going to the University of Southern Denmark through the International Student Research Forum. That was a great experience. And that's still, especially I think, having done that right before, obviously it's very difficult to travel now. That was a very great experience to have early in graduate school when a lot of things were disrupted because of COVID. So that was a memory I cherish of one of the few conferences I got to do in person.
Yeah, no, those are great opportunities, right? You get to make new friends across the world, and you have new cultural experiences that you could not otherwise maybe find.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was great.
Well, Safwan, you truly are a graduate student of distinction. I really commend you for all that you've done. And I know you have a great career ahead of you. I look forward to seeing it unfold over the next several years. So congratulations, and thank you for taking this time with us today.
Thank you.